You're watching my favorite YouTube channel. This is Chillmonger. Now, things you need to know. The reason why we are here particularly on this day is that I posted a tweet, and this tweet was about Marvel Studios Ironheart. It's from Pantheon about a week ago. And I chatted with Darius and Marcus about it being whether we support it or not.
You know, I heard Dre Mac was talking about this. Well, we need to support it in spite of that because there's so many races trying to draw it down. And I agree, there are. I mean, the discussing film had to turn off their comments about when they posted the trailer. It's ridiculous. At the same time, what has Marvel done for me as a consumer? I'm a consumer. I pay for the services. I deserve to be
serviced.
Serviced in some way. Why is
I'm so immature?
it upon me to fight back negative criticism of their product as a consumer?
Yeah.
Now, if I so choose to do that, if it lines up with any other political inclinations or just my basic morals, then do so. But just viewing it as a watcher of Disney Plus, as a Marvel fan, why the hell is it incumbent on me to stand up with my swords and shields and fight for a project that you won't even market, that you don't even give a damn with? You're not even given the benefit of a weekly release. You're dumping them out 3 at a time, doing something so bullshit. Yeah, like what is?
And I'm wondering right now. I didn't notice it, but there's 22 bookmarks, and I want to know why that is, because I'm unsure if it's good or if it's bad. Is this like somebody loved the work so much that they want to remind themselves about it? Did I say something? Did one of these 3 guys say something inside this video that's like worthy of coming back to? Did it resonate really hard? What's really the reason behind the 22 bookmarks? The trailer comes the same day as the Superman trailer. What? Do you know there's only a limited amount of time these people have to cover, like major outlets, YouTubers, whoever covers superhero stuff? Why in the world on the same day as Superman would you release your trailer? You're just robbing your chance of the free advertising that we do as content creators, that TikTokers go and say, hey, what do you think they're going to talk about more, Superman on that day or Iron Man or Heart? Well, their comment sections are going to be lit up talking about Superman or Ironheart. Ironheart. It was so stupid. When they found out when the Superman trailer was coming, which was a day ahead, they should have said, oh no, you know what? We changed our minds. Ironheart trailer is coming on Friday, not Thursday, but not Wednesday.
I mean, to be fair, maybe they thought there would be some residual effect. It's a day when multiple superhero-related things are coming out, so everybody will watch both trailers.
You're not being fair. Do you think that, though? Do you really
I don't think that. But I
just don't understand how you can have, oh, well, everyone's watching the trailer today. It's Ironheart Day. I don't think, or it's superhero day, Superman trailer and Ironheart. I think that when you go on a website, like if I go to cbr.com, there's one top story, there's one headline. If I go to Hollywood Reporter, there's one headline, there's one image on the front home page of the screen that everyone who visits the website will see. And on a superhero related website, or the people who cover it like on YouTube, they're gonna make their Easter egg breakdown video for the Superman trailer first, knowing it's a higher profile character. And so when you do the Ironheart trailer on the same day as the Superman trailer, that's what we're up against. Fatal J, I think you just DM'd me too, didn't you? Marvel will never allow the black superheroes to become more popular than their whites ones. This is one you will forever be sabotaged in the films and in the comics. Ironheart is the only Marvel Disney Plus show that got this treatment. I know. I understand. Yo, I am the watcher. I got this in 2016. Keith Lee, the man of the hour, the king of the ring, intelligence and power. This guy was killing it in Texas. It was Dallas, Texas that week. I was very big on wrestling 2016 wise. Not so much anymore. Chill. Nah, the comics, guys. Ironheart, Riri Williams is okay. Character right here, Riri Williams. Comic book wise, I can have a good conversation about her New Warriors villain I could talk to you about whatever you need to know about this character. So I'm pretty intelligent on the topic, but I was challenged. You see, down here, a fellow named Scotty, not Scotty. Scotty doesn't know. We have, what was your name, bro? What was your name? What was your name? Oh, let me go back. He quote tweeted me actually. A new era in nerd media. And we're here. He's my guest today. He says, a matter of fact, y'all are right. If they take a Storm or Brother Voodoo or Blue Marvel, etc. series and Marvel Disney drops the ball, then we shouldn't support those either. Let's make sure Marvel and Disney knows we don't want this happening again. Just cancel all the black shows. And he does the slightly smiling face. Okay. I would love to challenge that, and I will, because I anticipate he will be here today. Says these globbers, oh my god, I can't believe they dropped the trailer on Superman Day. And then anyone who just enjoys watching superhero stuff, holy shit, 2 cakes. So I actually very well articulated in the video above about how it's not a, oh my god, there's 2 cakes. As a fan, I need to enjoy it. I talked for the business reasons of the attention is split, the coverage, the promotion is split, and that is a handicap to this project. That's a problem. Okay. There. I said that in my video. So while he looks at it like, oh my god, that means that there's going to be 2 cakes, a real fan would look at it that way. I'm actually giving you the business reason why that's a problem. Okay. I hope Ironheart gets a comic book accurate suit in this series. I think so. And WZ, remember, like, comic book accurate. There's been so many comics and so many versions of her suit, maybe 3 or 4 that I can think of. Every movie needs a new suit. So while the first movie she was in, Ironheart, was in Wakanda Forever, they used something completely original, looked like a Mega Scizor from Pokemon. Even though she had a brand new suit that wasn't comic book accurate, I understand why. Don't reveal the pink Ironheart suit, the one that Sean Isaacs drew in Champions issue 21. Don't reveal that one until you have like solidified this character. You know what I mean? Like keep it off, until it's time. So this guy wrote that, OMG, 2 cakes, he says, and I said to that, would you like to join me on my YouTube channel to give your points? I can send you a link as soon as 10 minutes from now. This was on the May 19th. This was on Friday morning of May 19th. Not Friday morning, is it? What date was May 19th? May 19th was Monday morning. Yeah, May was Monday. And he said, I'd love to join you. You can DM us and we can set up a date. Please say the date publicly here. I want you to be accountable if you duck the meeting. I'll let you know if I'm not free. LMAO, ain't nobody afraid of y'all, but I can post the DMs on our page after we figure out a date. Hell, we can stream it live on our YouTube pages. I'll make it a premiere. Respectfully, please just give me a date and time on here publicly. The only thing I want to DM you is the StreamYard link, and you can stream share on your platform, no problem. This guy said sigh. He likes his emojis of slightly amused smiley faces and sighs. He says sigh. I'm free this weekend, Friday morning and Saturday afternoon, evening. If you want it to still be relevant, that's the only time I'm free at, a decent time for most time zones. If Friday morning is the soonest, I'll take it. What time? He says, let's say 9:30 a.m. What time zone? MST. I'll be ready to go at 9:30 Mountain, 11:30 Eastern. Link coming tomorrow. And right now it is 11:39 Eastern Standard Time. I did go live right at the time, but I told him link coming tomorrow. As you can see, I followed him. I DM'd him without following him first, and I sent him. Hold up, my bad. I'm showing you guys too much now by accident. Let me not show you everything on my DM. Too late though. Not that I do anything nefarious, but still. I sent him a DM, and just take my word for it. I won't share screen this part. But the DM that I sent him, it told me Twitter needs to authenticate your account. I guess because I wasn't following him at the time. But I did send him the StreamYard link the very next day. And unfortunately, even though I hit send and I hit enter, the link didn't send. It just told me I need to authenticate my Twitter account, and I was thinking that was unrelated to what happened. But I do realize now that because I sent it to him without following him, Twitter thought I was a bot or I needed to make sure, and the message that I sent didn't even get through. But I sent him a link today, a few 10 minutes before I went live. Let me double check. Let me make sure I'm telling the truth. No, at 11:26. I said, here's the invite link again, and I sent him a tweet, a DM, an invitation link to the StreamYard software, which is on right now. StreamYard is the software I use to stream. So he's been invited to be here at 11:30 Eastern to argue his takes, and we're going to give him a little bit of time before I say he was ducking, or before even if he doesn't show up this whole stream, I won't say he's ducking, because I did say I'll send you the link tomorrow, and I didn't send him the link tomorrow because it didn't go through. I am following him though. I did follow him on Tuesday, which would have been tomorrow. I said I would send you the link, so I followed him after the I've been logged out and everything. Is it out already? No, it will be coming out next month. I hope Ironheart gets comic book accurate suit. To be honest, I want to show about the kid from Iron Man 3. That's not a comic book character. I think his name is Harley. I don't care. If you want any more people in the stream, start doing vertical streams. More people in the stream will come if it's vertical, because people are on their phone. See, I want to attract the computer people, bro. But I'm sure whatever you just told me is because you got data and research about it. I got chill winning, to be honest. I got me winning also, because whatever he's got against what we're talking about, like whatever he's got against marketing, I don't think he can challenge it. Twitter DMs have been down for the last day. He can't see your link regardless. Twitter DMs have been down for the last day. He can't see your link regardless. Okay, then what I'll do in front of all of you and the crew is tweet him. I'll be ready to go, and I'll say, ready. Actually, I'll say ready, and I'll put an invitation link on the tweets. So you guys, let me know if you see that I've done this to him, for him. Let me know if you see that. I said the word ready. I said that. I'm gonna say reply, and it's underneath our whole Twitter chain. It says ready. He said he was free, right? So maybe he'll brush his teeth, get out of bed, do what he's got to do to be here. More people are on their phones than on the computer. How many of you right now watching, of my viewers? I see 10 viewers currently. How many are on their phone? How many are on a desktop, laptop, tablet? Tell me what device you're watching. YouTube is sending more people short like content. YouTube wants to beat TikTok. That's why shorts are getting more views. Chillmonger, what did you think about how they did our boy Infinite Ultron Killmonger in What If Season 2? Hey, I don't like watching What If. I don't like watching non-consequential material, like things that are not canon. And from the beginning, from inception, I never cared about it. Somebody made me watch the Doctor Strange episode. I figured, well, multiverse of madness. Well, this alternate universe of Strange is going to be relevant to this movie, and it's all of it. And it actually didn't matter. That's the only episode I watched. Takora Tori, is that you? I just brushed my teeth after days. All right. Okay, computer, phone. I'm on my computer. I play League Mobile, phone. On a Kindle. It's a mix. Only reason I'm on a computer is because I'm at work. I hope you have headphones. Cellular service is not great where I'm at, And plus, I need to see things good size screen. I'm old. I didn't know you were old. Chill says, where do you rank Killmonger as a villain? Or Fatal J says, where do I rank him? Under Thanos, number 2. I like some other villains. I liked Michael Keaton when he was a Vulture. I liked Loki at one point in time. And Kang was a good villain. Yeah, we had some good ones, right? Eh, but Killmonger is the second one next to Thanos. The Doctor Strange episode was better than the Doctor Strange 2. Man, I'm using my computer to watch a show. All right. So I'll just argue as if dude is here. I think Ironheart Riri Williams has been a character that they've started off with at the highest you can get. Brian Michael Bendis, this man was passionate. He just adopted, I think, 2 daughters, 2 melanated daughters, and he's over living in Portland, Oregon, and he's going, let me make characters that they can aspire to become. I never thought about this the way I think about it now, but we need to have some black girls who are superheroes. Boom. He creates Riri Williams after he created Miles Morales, but he creates Riri Williams. It's 2015, 2014, 2015. So in Iron Man dies, and that was the ending of Civil War where Iron Man dies, and now Riri Williams is alive, and she's the star of the Invincible Iron Man comic book. At the end of the Iron Man comic books, when Iron Man was alive, you could see like 2 or 3 pages to see there's this girl in MIT creating a suit, and you would see these things happen, and they slowly introduced the Riri Williams character. Then Iron Man, the series Invincible Iron Man, was canceled. I shouldn't say it was canceled, but he wasn't leading. Now she was leading the comic book. She, Invincible Iron Man. She was teaming up. She was fighting, practicing against all of Iron Man's suits. That's her in the middle over there in the silver. She was the main character of the Invincible Iron Man suit. She had multiple issues. That's issue 4. And these to all start like this. And this was a character who had a good comic book artist in Stefano Caselli. And she had a good comic book writer. Her sales were doing 30, 40,000 units being sold. This Ironheart character was actually at a good position, selling well enough and profitable and had a light. Unfortunately, though, I realized this. The only guy who worked at Marvel who cared about Riri Williams was the creator. Once that creator had enough of Marvel, big falling out, started working at DC in 2018. When that happened, the character of Riri Williams was in the basement. So it took 12 issues of her being the star of the Iron Man comic book. When they reached issue 600 of Iron Man, which she was the star of Invincible Iron Man again, when she reached that 600th issue, Iron Man was back. She had to go away and only be the star of the Ironheart comic book. There were 12 of these. They casted or they hired Eve Ewing, the first comic book she's ever written. So they didn't get no one who was super expensive. They didn't get someone with a high page rate. They got lucky with the artists, but even Luciano Vecchio wasn't active at Marvel Comics like an industry veteran the way Stefano Caselli was. But his art was good. But I'm not talking quality, I'm talking name. When that happened, first issue came out, 40,000 units sold, which is bad for a first issue. And we had a second printing, second printing, right? Because things sold out in certain locations. But second printings don't mean that there was an additional 40,000 units that went out. It could just mean like every shop got an extra 5 copies, something like that. Anyways, that's the state that the character was in. That's Ironheart for you. Eve Ewing starts writing her. It gets canceled because by the time we get to issue 12, only 9,000 111 comics were estimated to be sold. That's terrible. That's the stage that the character was left at. Now, Marvel and everyone who worked there goes, oh, I guess we don't have a profitable character here. Well, we stuffed her into Champions. Let's see what happens with Champions. Champions even gets canceled, rebooted, and canceled again. So all the Island of Misfit toys from the all new, all different Marvel, all of those characters who were champions, the young superheroes, they were all also out of a book, out of being regularly featured. So now, in order to catch an Ironheart or Riri Williams, in order to catch her, you have to read a comic book in Iron Man and see her for a couple pages, and she's got like the magical 10 rings or something. Or you would have to catch her in Exceptional X-Men, which she was a star of in the upcoming Exceptional X-Men issue. She's a star of that because Dr. Evel Ewing is the writer of that comic. Is Dr. Evel Ewing is the writer of that comic book. So the only person who still cares about that character, who will use her, is Eve Ewing, and she's using her in her Exceptional X-Men. Why? Because she has the power to do that. The state that the character is in is one where we don't give a damn. Stephanie Williams, another low, no name, small name creator, Stephanie Williams had an Ironheart series. It would be the second volume of Ironheart. It was canceled. I guess the pre-orders were so low, they said, no, we're not making this thing. Recently, John Jennings, the guy who made Ghostlight Silver Surfer, Blue's favorite creator, John Jennings has a series called Ironheart, and that's coming out right now. I think it may be in stores right now. Now it's in stores. There's 5 issues or 4 issues. 4 issues because they don't believe in it. And John Jennings has got an Ironheart series. Why? Because it's a TV show. We want to have synergy. I understand why, if Ironheart is hot, it's being marketed by the movie studio. Why not make a comic book? I understand the business reason for why they would do that, and I'm not mad at it completely. Make sure she's factored into the rest of the stories, but I know that she won't be. Why? Because the writer of the new Ironheart series is John Jennings. John Jennings, a guy who they'll never use for Amazing Spider-Man or Avengers. He'll never be the head creator of Uncanny X-Men. He's John Jennings. He's there to say that we got black writers. So I know what position Ironheart is in, comic book wise. And it's a low position and it's a hopeless position. I'll say it again, Marvel only has 2 black characters. I will support the Black Panther. I'll support the Storm comic book because I can see those as characters without a ceiling, without a built-in ceiling, with who they've shown on a regular basis that they will feature. Now, they'll get hot every now and again on a character. Maybe Photon will be the lead of the Avengers for 5 years, or there'll be like a little run of this character, that character in Marvel. They'll act like they're really into Sam Wilson, but I know he's going to go back down to not appearing on a regular basis on comic books. Marvel has 2 black characters who I'm going to support. Everyone else is just, they're there to say we have black characters, but there's no desire from this white-owned company to further and elevate a black character. There was from Brian Michael Bendis. You asked why was she created, Michael? The reason why Riri Williams was created because he adopted 2 black girls, and he had that in his heart to make that character. He then made Naomi, he made for DC. And Naomi McDuffie was a character he liked, he made, he even got a TV show. Well, you know what I mean? It is what it is. And then it's Chillmonger Muslim, yes. Because he said Assalamu alaikum, eh? Chill, which streaming service can I watch Ianu? It's HBO Max right now. If you're in America, HBO Max is where you can see the new Ianu episodes. And you can stream all of them now. Episode 10 and the finale of Ianu is coming up tomorrow morning by this time. So you should get started on your streaming, on your binge of every episode of Ianu, which will be getting a season 2. Big Riri. I like her aesthetic, but why not an original? That's right. That's right, Takuro Tori. I think we all always got to go and say, why do we want these characters who are derivatives of others with the ceiling of they'll never be as hot as the original? So while she does call herself Iron Heart and not Iron Man, while she has themes, she has a little moments and glimpses of, she can spin off into her own thing. Robin became Nightwing. She hasn't done it yet. And I think that's the strength of the character, is that she is smart enough to make her own suit. Why is that? Why is that? Sorry, man. I keep hitting that. I keep hitting that thing. That my microphone. It might be the wire. So, damn. Why does Riri Williams gotta Ironheart gotta be a derivative? Why do we have to keep getting these second versions of original things? It's crazy to me. Give me original and make her change her name. Make her go, just call me Hearts. You know what I mean? I don't want to be Ironheart. Make me Ion Hearts. Make me something else. Change her name. Make her have a falling out with Tony and say, I'm not just second you. I'm better. I'm going to invent something that you never could. What do you mean? Well, now my heart is literally made out of iron, or who knows? Like, she can infuse with the vibranium technology all the time she's been spending in Wakanda. She can just give her something, bro. Make her fall in a vat of laughing gas like Joker did to Harley Quinn. I wonder why they decided to tie her to Iron Man in the beginning. Why? Because he was writing the Iron Man series. If he was writing the Captain America series, Riri Williams would have been Captain America. Why is she created? They should put Ironheart in Rivals to boost popularity. That sounds like that a company who was behind the character would do. They're not. And the guys who are even doing Marvel Rivals, they're not. I think it's a Japanese studio, and they're just like, yeah, we know who your characters are big. We're using Black Panther, not Shuri. We're using Captain America, not Sam Wilson. And they actually are going with what makes sense. They're using the best IPs, and then Jeff the Land Shark. So it's a different studio. I mean, yeah, development studio for video games. I think they will do a champion series with Ironheart. Bro, we don't care about the series because Kevin Feige doesn't care about the series. It's clear. M.A. Marvel, Miles Morales, and others at some point. It would be wild. Um, Michael, the creator, adapted daughters who look like Riri. Shots fired. Shots fired. Hey, where is my friend who was supposed to be the guy who was going to help me do the stream? I sent him the link. It's been a good 4 or 5 minutes. I sent him at, it says 11:43. I sent it. It is now 11:57. Where is this guy? It says the tweet got 4 views. Maybe he was one of them. View engagements, or that's strange. He's not here yet. Who's the writer who keeps screwing comic Spider-Man and created the Paul character? Jed McKay? Was that him? No, it wasn't. It was Zeb Wells. And it's Nick Lowe. Nick Lowe was the main editor of the Amazing Spider-Man series, and he's the one who makes Peter Parker not able to marry Mary Jane and giving Mary Jane other love interests like Paul. I feel like Marvel Comics to me is such a dead brand. It's such a, we will not make any of our characters progress. We will have them do circular storytelling. We'll have events happen and this and that. It'll be undone. The the mutants, the Celestials was coming out the Earths. They had a Antarctica. No, it was the North Pole. A North Pole celestial that they were all living in. And then Avengers vs. X-Men versus Eternals happened. And the Celestial was alive again. And I said, "Oh no, that's huge and significant because they were living inside the Celestial, and it was the headquarters for Avengers. They just undid it. Whoa, they don't live there anymore." As soon as that event ended, they renovated and they made the Celestial their home once again. Nothing significant happened. They just changed it back to, yeah, we're back to normal. We Avengers live on the North Pole now, inside of our Celestial. You shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't undo things when after you do them. It's crazy. Marvel looks like they're just looking for a reason to cancel books. Jedi Mike. Naomi is a Young Justice character. Just put some videos of her in the queue. I never use those watch later listings. I barely ever use those things. But yeah, you got them in the queue. Respect. I think I missed the best part of the stream. You didn't. My guest didn't. My guest did not arrive. Batgirl, Supergirl, Namorita, Spider-Man, Valkyrie, all derivative, as not as strong as the originals. Yes, they're not as strong, and they'll never be as big. And there's Deadpool, who's not derivative of anybody, but Deadpool seems to have taken off and been a fine character. So while we want new characters, we also want them to be completely unique, wearing a different color scheme, maybe even an original power, maybe, if it can help. Well, Deadpool heals just like Wolverine, so you don't even need to have an original power. But we want new things. The Guardians of the Galaxy worked, the Thunderbolts didn't. Why? Maybe because the Guardians were like a tree, but they are all just super soldiers on Thunderbolts, which is something we've seen before. They're lesser versions of Black Widow, of Captain America, two Captain Americas. They're just lesser versions. She's a legacy character. Fatal J, I don't like the term legacy character because sometimes people will say legacy character and they'll mean because like Iron Man is a legacy character. He's an old character. He's got a legacy. He's grandfathered in. But sometimes people say legacy characters to mean she's like a version of someone who already exists. So she's a legacy character. So I just don't like that term. She's only meant to be there temporarily. So I think Brian Michael Bendis meant for her to be the next big thing. He wanted to go, oh, we've got Cap and Hulk and Thor. We also got Ironheart. I think that's what he was looking for. And I'm sure he would have because he helped make Miles Morales such a big thing. But Miles Morales had years of him writing him with a good artist and continuation of the Ultimate Spider-Man run. So those people who were already picking that up, they were like, "Oh, we're going to continue picking up Ultimate Spider-Man." It's not like I liked Ultimate Peter exclusively. I'm into the story. Riri doesn't have that. He tried that. He tried to get her while she was the lead of the Invincible Iron Man comic book, which I showed you a couple times, and we'll show you again. The book is called Invincible Iron Man, and she is the star of it. She's over in Latveria, taking over and fighting Victor, the Doombots, and everything. This here is where she says she becomes the queen of Latveria. She's fighting Doctor Doom's villain. She says the words, "Well, if this was your country, then I think by any definition what just happened here is I just took it." So try to show some respect to the new queen of Latveria, Ironheart says. So she's taken over the book. She's the star. She's the lead of this book. It wasn't meant to be temporary. Like he actually had some great plans for her, and she was doing what Miles Morales did, basically, where the old star wasn't there anymore. But unlike Ultimate Spider-Man and Miles, people were upset that they lost Iron Man. Tony Stark was gone. With Peter Parker, yeah, we already got the ASM Peter Parker in 616. We don't have to worry about, oh my God, we just lost Peter Parker, because he was always the alternate version. He was the ultimate comic books version of Peter Parker. You antagonize. And plus, if you look at industry wide, if you look at all of the replacement characters, there's the replacement theory from our white supremacist brothers in Comicsgate. We have that movement going on. It just was a terrible time. I think if she was the only one, there wasn't an Amadeus Cho Hulk or a Jane Foster Thor, if there wasn't a alternate version of Wolverine dancing around X-23, and if it was just her being the alternate version, it wouldn't be such a big deal. There wouldn't be such a pushback against it. Was this trailer different from the very first one? I could have sworn they made her a drug dealer or something in the first one. Yes, and I did complain about that. So this trailer didn't feature that anymore. It's like they listened to criticism from myself and others, and I haven't seen the show yet, but the trailer was well done, if you ask me. Didn't feature the drug dealer stuff. She had one issue where she goes, "I want to be iconic." And I don't want that to be the drive of my superhero. I was watching Cool Colas the other day, and he brought up this point too, that make her have a selfless motivation instead of, I want to do something iconic. I want to make a name for myself. I want to be a star. I want to be known. I want, like, don't make those the aspirations. Make it, I've seen so many people suffering. and I have the ability to help. I have to like give her those kind of lines. She didn't have the line like that, but doesn't mean that she doesn't have it in the show. I would care to watch more of these replacements if they didn't make them all unlikable asses like Kamala Khan. Marvel will never allow a legacy character or a black character to be more popular. The only one I see, that's what I mean when I say ceilings. It's not Miles. Miles has a ceiling. Kids love Miles more than Peter seems like. So let's look at the Sony Spider-Verse movies and let's look at how they make a whole lot less money, less marketed, and they're not live action. No matter how big Miles Morales gets, he's stuck in his box. He's like over here, go over here doing this. The only reason they'll ever make a live action Miles is if Tom Holland starts asking for some of that big Tony Stark money, that Robert Downey Jr. money, and then they'll go, yeah, okay, one last movie, and we're killing the character. We'll do it with Miles. I know he's a replacement, but the actor is going to cost way less money. He's more affordable, and then it won't be successful. And then they'll hire back Tom Holland, who's going to be like 46. That's the route they'll go when it comes to a live action Miles. And a live action Miles will, if they do it, I just don't think it'll come at the cost of Peter Parker. If they did it next movie, we'll still get more Peter Parker because what's his contract situation right now? Making sure Black Panther is stupid. At best, it's a placeholder. Yeah, and then you know what they got coming up next? Oh, you guys want T'Challa? Oh yeah, you guys want this T'Challa here? Boom, we got you. This is T'Challa now. Enjoy. They really think that's a good idea to just age up that little boy and be like, listen, he calls himself Toussaint is just his Haitian name. He's not Toussaint. He's T'Challa now. See, you guys? Recast it. You guys were always complaining on the internet. You got it. Doug, that's not T'Challa. That's not the same IP. That character doesn't exist in comic books. That character is not the character we are invested in. That's not the character who's going to exist after a reboot. Recast T'Challa. Never not going to say that. And on July 1st, me and Fatal J were linking up and we're going to make that trend. Lauren says, Ghosted. Ghosted? Riri was in the Spider-Punks comic. Okay. She was in the Spider-Punk comic? Yeah. So she was in something else, yeah. Was Spider-Punk in the 616? I wonder. Hey, do your Feige impression sometime. I love that guy. What do you want me to say? Guys, we hear you over at Recast T'Challa. We know you're going to make it trend on July 1st. Use the whole, he turns 59 years old. It's the anniversary of his first appearance. But hey, you know who's 59 months old? Toussaint. And that's your new Black Panther. You guys are going to love him. He's going to grow up, call himself T'Challa, and all the blacks are going to go, he's back. We're going to grow so much money. No more Shuri. I know you guys don't like your little Shuri, right? We got Toussaint. We've got T'Challa, Nakia's son, the most legendary black character that there is. I'm Kevin Feige, and I approve this message. Fucking black people. We need a black Friarin. It's an anime. Don't know what that is. Deadpool is a copy of Deathstroke. Is right. No legacy characters means someone who took the mantle. They got it wrong. They call Iron Man legacy character. He's not. Yeah, it depends what circles you're in. But yes, I don't. Who cares? Just as long as you define the term as you talk to me, then I'm good. Spider-Verse 6 miles. Kind of like if you say you want to leave a legacy for your kid. It just depends on who's saying it. She does not have her own villains. She has her dad. Her dad is a villain. Her biological father. Miles is the best Spider-Man. Where's this man's at? Miles been popping up in video games, animated series. He's only getting more popular. Where is it ceiling? Oh, you're foolish because a live action hasn't happened yet. And the ceiling is they'll never promote him and push him the way that they push, what's his name? Actual Peter Parker. Here we are again. Dude just asked, where is he? I'll remind you that he quote tweeted me. I invited him and I said, would you like to join me on my YouTube channel to give your points? I can send you a link 10 minutes from now. and blah, 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 a whole lot of talking. And he says, let's say at 9:30 a.m. MST on Friday. They said, I'll be ready to go at 9:30 Mountain Standard Time, 11:30 Eastern. Link coming tomorrow. That was on May 19th. But today, on May 23rd, I sent him the link. I said, I'm ready. It's 11:43. I also DM'd him the link before I went live. He is not here to talk to me about Ironheart. Miles been popping up in video games and animated movies. You're right. But that's just not high profile. It's not he's sharing the video game with Peter Parker, who was the star of it. He's secondary. There's a limit on how high he can get. Why do we pretend like that's not happening? Why are we living in alternate realities? Shamik channeled too much of the simp force at once. Should Kevin Feige get rid of these past 2019 producers that they hired? It's not the producer's fault. But yeah, sure, get rid of some of the bad ones. But it's more so his fault for making a movie about Ant-Man Quantumania in the microverse, making a She-Hulk TV show, making a Eternals movie. It's all his fault from the beginning. How do you blame anyone for Thunderbolts? He made Thunderbolts. Why? We didn't need to have Thunderbolts. Let's go to Brock Lesnar for this donation. We got Michael Nemo. I grew up with Wonder Woman, the Bionic Woman, the Mighty Isis, Electra Woman, and Dyna Girls on TV. You know what they never did? They never said they wanted to be iconic. They just were. Boom. Thank you for the $10, Michael Nemo. Of all these characters that you're mentioning, these are like stars. I think it's because there's so much tangulation happening here. So, damn, now my microphone just completely turned out. You got me on the webcam mic. I'm end the stream, actually. Let me just close the stream out. They just were. Boom. Yes, you're right. These are iconic stars. These women came through, and we got a couple of them now. Also, it feels like the women characters aren't in the same oppressed as characters of a darker skinned hue. It's crazy, right? The women characters did their thing back then, and there's some women who looked up to it. And the women are 50% of the world, so there's a big enough market. Now, they may not be 50% of the market when it comes to superheroes and this genre, but still, they're a huge, 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 unpassable group. If you're talking about black audience, that's like 13%. And if you look at people who are going to not pick it up or not collect the Static Shock toys and stuff like that, you're kind of at a disadvantage. I don't think there's much people who are going to look at a woman IP and be like, oh, can't do Bionic Woman, can't do Wonder Man, Wonder Woman, I can't do Electra Woman. There's not many people who are going to say that the way that they have hatred and racism towards a black superhero or black IP. I'm still working on a Ironheart video. Marvel's totally missing the point of the character. It's a shame. The actress does not deserve this pushback. Yeah, I feel like some of that pushback is like their goal. That's the marketing strategy, racial inequality, and I don't like that. Yeah, Ryan's not really a T'Challa fan, like he says. Well, he killed the character. Nobody calls Supergirl a legacy character. Why wouldn't she be a legacy character? Miles will pop up in live action sooner than later. And I'm going to tell you how he's secondary to Peter Parker. That just doesn't make sense. Watch, you'll see. You'll see exactly what I mean. I don't care. Thank you, Michael. Let's go home. That's the stream for today. Pay attention to what's going on with Burkina Faso. I told you guys that this guy's had multiple assassination attempts. He's the captain. He's a military and president of Burkina Faso. His name is Ibrahim Traore. Because of what he did, the country, the landlocked West African country, has been able to pay off their debts, mine their own gold, And instead of $1 billion from these foreign companies, they're grossing $18 billion off of the gold that is in their own ground. They've got to fight off all these militias, these Western backed and paid for militias and people creating division in the country so that they can't get their ish together. But meanwhile, they're trying to assassinate him. I think there's been 18 assassination attempts on him. If there wasn't 18, there's definitely more than 10. The latest one came from the Ivory Coast. Well, who was in the Ivory Coast? General Michael Langley, the United States general, 4-star general. Who else was in there? Well, Ivory Coast, Cote d'Ivoire. This is a French-speaking nation. They are there trying to assassinate Ibrahim Traore from Burkina Faso. They don't like what Mali, Niger, Chad are doing and telling military from France to go. They want to stop using the CFA franc currency. In Africa, we're stepping up. Now, recently in the Cote d'Ivoire, their leader, who was a puppet, just had every citizen just revolt. I don't know where he is right now. The internet went down in Cote d'Ivoire, in the Ivory Coast, and we're kind of like, did a coup happen? What's happening right now? The Ivory Coast right now is being fixed. It's going. We see some of the leadership from our neighbors, and we hate that this is the operation. This is the headquarters right now of America. You guys want to put a drone base in Cote d'Ivoire? Why? So you can send a drone up to Burkina Faso and kill their leader? Which you can kill a leader, you can kill a revolutionary, you can't kill a revolution. To quote my boy Fred Hampton Jr., at least in the movie that Daniel Kaluuya played. I think heads up, that's important. That's happening in the world. And I heard Nigeria paid off its IMF debt. Okay. Yeah, they got a pretty corrupt leader, and I think he's going to fix up. But he's getting old, and they've got an election coming next year in Nigeria. The people will probably look at their neighbors and they'll be like, okay, why aren't we having that sort of development happening? Why isn't school free? Why aren't you helping farmers? Why isn't like the things that they're doing in Burkina Faso to uplift each other? Why aren't we having that in Nigeria? And then they'll look to their leadership and they'll go, oh, because we got a puppet. So the puppet in Ivory Coast looks like he's gone and out. The internet is still down, so the news coming out of there and nothing's been solidified. Why is the internet down? Western interests. But add that to another country where we're getting increase. Like Africa is not no third world country, third world continent. Africa right now, they've got resources in the ground to pay for themselves. They will just stop having to sell it to foreign people who just want to use them. They can start actually being a great society, a place that maybe a lot of us might want to move to. I'm just saying. So when I see all this news about the South African, oh, they got the refugees coming, that's not fair. You guys are treating America like it's some sort of prize. I look more so like, yeah, they're leaving the homeland. One day, that African continent, all the countries will go, why are we all separate countries? We should all just unite and be one. We're only separate countries because in 1884, them dudes in Berlin started drawing a map, and all these Europeans said, you colonize that, you're there, you're there. And then, boom, these lines, these artificial lines were created. Africa's one. They are one, I should say. Suriname is having elections on Sunday. Is that in Africa? I thought that was in South America, but that shows how little I know about that country. I'm sorry. Well, whatever they do, I hope they get Ibrahim Traore. But that's world news. Stay woke. Chill out.